Hey there, Phoenix fam. How's it going? Welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. I am Daniella Langford, your secret weapon to personal sovereignty, and my cat is playing with my tapestry, as cats are wont to do. So let me get 1 second, and I'm going to share this around because silly, goofy cat. Because this is a topic that I know people are going to want to listen to. So, come on, kitty. Silly little buddy. Let me go ahead and share this. There we go. Share. Oh, he is going to be causing some trouble this afternoon. He is testing my patience. Bless his little heart. Okay. All right. There we are, my darlings. Welcome to my new tapestry. Welcome to my new backdrop. I just got this weekend, and I am living for it. Just the color is absolutely fantastic, and it actually matches the business logo, which, weird about that, how that happens, huh? Totally, it wasn't necessarily intentional, but when I opened it up and realized just how much it actually matched the business logo, there was definitely one of those things where, like, this is the correct choice. This was the right choice to make. So, I am loving it. Welcome to my new backdrop, everyone. This will be the backdrop from here on out. But I just wanted to share it with you, come to you live, show it off, and share with us below if you are really feeling it. I love to hear from you guys. So, I know this is not what you came here for, is to hear me talk about my new tapestry, but what you did come here for is something that's going to probably blow the lid off of some of your heads, and this is something that, you know, we hear a lot about, and we're like, it's not really real, not true, you know, the only way to lose weight or change your body, particularly, you know, for women, is like, you know, calories in, calories out, and in some ways, sure, by the physical mechanism of the body, it is true. Because if you eat 4,000 calories in a day and you don't get out of your bed, what's going to happen? Okay? So there are some realities to this thing because we live in a physical world, in a physical vehicle. Okay? However, I discovered I lost 10 pounds in a month without crazy dieting, without going on some insane P90X workout. And I'm going to share with you how I did it. Now again, this might be a little controversial for some of you. Some of you aren't going to believe me, and that's okay. Because if you try it for yourself, which I always encourage you to do, don't always take my word for it. Don't take anybody's word for anything. This is a co-creative world that we live in, a co-creative reality, and I want you to try it out. And that's what it's all about, is you trying it out. So, how did I lose 10 pounds? I went to the lady doctor, the lady checkup doctor, as I'm sure all of you ladies out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Right? Gotta love the cat. He's just having way too much fun with his tapestry right now. So I went to the lady doctor, and I weighed more than I had ever in my life. And I am going, what the effing H is going on here? And so I did some, you know, did the day and everything, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. I get home, and I'm thinking to myself, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on? And I get invited to do a session with a fantastic colleague of mine. She is also a mentor. She is a magical mentor of mine, and I absolutely love working with her. And she invited me to do a crash test practice of something that she's going to be bringing out to her students. So she was like, hey guys, I need some guinea pigs. And it's like, love being a guinea pig. Particularly when it comes to magical things. And I shouldn't say, I mean, that sounds kind of bad, especially when you know what's actually going on in the world. But you know what I mean. So, went through this thing. And it was a Zoom session, just like I do with my clients. And, you know, a bunch of us showed up, and, you know, she said, you know, this is what we're trying out, da-da-da-da. Point being of the story is I did this session with her, and I'm going to share with you what it was. Just wait. Don't get ahead of me. I did the session with her. And then I went on about my merry way, okay? just like we usually do when we do sessions with coaches or spiritual mentors or what have you, we do the session, we do the practice, we do the clearing, whatever, and then we go on about our merry way. I went on about my merry way, and then quite literally to the day, I think it maybe was the day after, as in I went to the lady doctor on the 4th of the previous month, and then this was the 5th of the current month. And my man and I, we actually are starting to work out and go to the gym, but believe me, it's not strenuous in any way. It's more or less to build muscle or do things like that. And this is like the second time we had been, okay? I just signed up. So that is not accounting for the weight loss at all. Just started. So he said, because, he likes to, play trainer and keep track of everything, which awesome, because I don't like to keep track of it. He said, why don't you pop into the ladies' dressing room, and there's a scale in there, and so why don't you, go weigh yourself so that we can put it in the chart, so that as you, lose weight, build muscle, so that we can track it. Great, okay. I'm like, oh God, thinking that what that weight was going to be was what it was a month before, if not heavier, okay? Because I was going through I wouldn't say existential crisis, but we are all going through a whole lot of crap right now. The planet is going through a whole lot of crap right now. We are going through the ascension process, folks, and it isn't always super pleasant. Not always comfortable. So I was assuming that I'm like pounding on protection, pounding on grounding, pounding all of this, in preparation for this ascension process. And so I go into the ladies' dressing room, and I weigh myself, and I go, oh, okay, here we go, right? I step onto the scale, and my eyes practically bulge out of my head. Quite honestly, 10 pounds down. Almost to the decimal. And I'm looking at myself going, okay, maybe this thing isn't reading right. Maybe I stepped on it too early or didn't stay on it long enough or whatever, right? Chalking it up to technical error or whatever. I'm like, there's no way that without dieting, because we hadn't changed our diet yet, really. Not at all. Like, we hadn't cut out sugars and all the rest of that, booze. We hadn't cut that out yet. We've cut it out now because we are doing another thing. But point being, we hadn't cut that out yet. We hadn't started our, twice a week workout routine that we do together. We hadn't started any of that yet. So I'm thinking, oh my God, this thing's got, this thing must have something wrong with it. So I try it again. And it's the same. And I try it again. One more time. And it's the same. I mean, of course, it fluctuates by a decimal or two, so it's clearly reading the weight. And I'm going, what the H? So I've literally dropped 10 pounds in a month. Without dieting and without going on some kind of crazy workout regimen. Now, I'm going to stop right here and do the lovely disclaimer that I am not a medical doctor. I have not gone to school for mainstream medicine. Okay? I am an herbalist. I have my certification in essential oils to coach people how to use essential oils to improve their life. And to, use them around the house, use them with their body, use them with their pets, and, so on and so forth, right? I have that, but I'm not a medical doctor. Okay. Oh, the cat's near the candle. Ah! Cat, please don't burn yourself. I love you. So what I'm about to say with the disclaimer is that I am not a medical doctor. So I want you to try this out for yourself. But I'm not a medical doctor. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Right? Okay. So, I'm sorry, you guys. Excuse me one moment. Okay. What are you doing, goofball? Sorry, guys. My cat's being a goofball. Come here. Come here. I'm going to show you to the world. This is the little troublemaker. Doesn't he just look like a little troublemaker? Look at that face. There's a little troublemaker. Anyway, so not a medical doctor, but this experience happened to me, okay? And that is why I'm sharing it with you, because I know that so many of us struggle with our weight. So many of us, particularly as we're going on the spiritual path, are struggling with weight that is protective weight. Okay, I know so much of the weight that I've been carrying around, and particularly the weight that I had pounded on within the last 2 or 3 months previous to this, is all protective weight, because we're about to go through this ascension process. I am currently sort of in a fast track phase of my particular journey, and so I'm going, oh my god, I need protection, need protection, need protection. Sillies, you're killing me. So I thought that wasn't going to change. The only thing that can account for this weight loss is what happened in the session with my magic mentor. Everybody's got a mentor, even me. What happened is we went through something that I'm going to begin to incorporate into my own programs, that I'm going to be incorporating into the mini mastermind that I'm going to be launching in the closed Facebook group of Redesign Your Life Forever. So if you are watching this on the business page, please, please, please hop on over to join the group so that you will be able to actually take advantage of these kinds of offerings that I'm going to be putting out. This cat is killing me right now. Go on. All right. So he's testing me. Lord, he is testing me. So this is what happened. We did a session where we worked on a huge chunk of maternal ancestral clearing. What does that mean? That means I dropped off at the curb a whole bunch of emotional baggage. Emotional, spiritual baggage. That's not even mine to carry around. Okay? Now, nobody lose me on this one, because if you're really into this stuff, there is a part of your soul that knows that what I'm talking about is a truth. What happens? And again, I encourage you to truth test this for yourself. There's lots of ways to do that, which of course I'm going to be sharing more about in the future, because not as many people know about it as I would have thought. You can muscle test yourself. You can truth test your body. There's lots of different ways to test, because the subconscious body that is connected with the higher self knows way better than our conscious, logical forebrain does. Okay, so that's why muscle testing works. That's why truth testing works. That's why pendulum works, because we're actually tapping into something deeper and higher than our own conscious, waking, logical mind. Okay, so we carry around this emotional baggage. Kitty, go on, play with that over there. There you go. Silly. He's really testing me today. I can feel it. They're testing me, Lord. We carry around a lot of emotional baggage. And a lot of it, as you will know, is not even yours to carry around. Okay? So much of it is stuff that we've picked up from other people. Now, to that point, as women in particular, now of course that's not to say that that doesn't happen with the men, but as women in particular, we really take on emotional spiritual baggage. Okay? And we take it on from our mothers. We take it on from our grandmothers. We take so much of what we are carrying around as ours from somewhere else. Okay? And it's not just the mindsets and the belief systems. It's not just the cultural attitudes. It's actual energetic baggage that, when it's not cleared, when it's not processed, when it's not transmuted, actually becomes part of the physical vehicle. Okay? So briefly, just to expand on this, what is happening is, and this is kind of a cool place to be sitting because it really sort of illustrates this for me, and I'm sure that's no coincidence. Around us at all times are layers and layers of an energy field. Okay, our heart right now, by the way, look this up if you don't believe me, our heart pumps out a electromagnetic field that is invisible, like Wi-Fi, like radio, like TV, like whatever, okay? Like, it pumps out an electromagnetic field that is, what is it, 10,000, 20,000 times more powerful than our brain. Again, if you don't believe me, look it up. Institute of Heart Math. Check them out. Our heart is putting out this energy field constantly, okay? Constantly. Every moment of every day. And when we walk around with other people, we are, especially if you're empathic, like me, which I'm sure many of you are, we take in other people's junk, okay? There are so many of us that are on this planet right now that have come here to be part of the ascension. We have come here to heal old ancestral wounds. We have come here to be part of the ascension, to help other people that are waking up so that they can also move forward. Sweetheart. I'm going to have to nail this to the other part of the wall. Go on, Sally. So, as we go through our day, we are unknowingly, 90% of the time, until we wake up to this fact of what's actually happening, all of this energy field that's around us, and this is actually a pretty good representation in another way, is that here's an energy from somebody else, here's an energy from somebody else, see these different colors, here's an energy from somebody else, here's an energy from somebody else, okay? We're carrying this around. And particularly those of us who have, I mean, if you have this soul knowing, you're pinging right now, that we are here to do a job. We're here to have fun, we're here to enjoy, but we're also here for a purpose, to help other people wake up. And as children, as infant humans, our soul can't quite regulate what we are absorbing and what we don't absorb. Because as an adult, we can come through and go, oh, that doesn't resonate with me. I don't have to take that on into my being. No, thank you. Moving on. As kids, we can't really do that, or can't do it as well. There are some new babies being born right now, like, holy crap. Super stoked for the next couple of generations. Hopefully if we can get the rest of everybody else on board. But, so every day, from the moment we are born, and even previous, they say the third trimester to about 7 years old, 5 or 7 years old, we are pretty much in a hypnagogic a hypnosis state, where we're basically just absorbing everything and anything that is around us. That's belief systems, that's personality traits, that's everything, actions, thoughts, anything and everything. And that includes energy. So as we're kids, we're bringing all of this on. So when I did this session with my magic mentor and my colleague, she was working us through the mother line ancestral stuff. Little do most of us realize, especially again, this is where this is coming together. If you have that calling in your heart that you're like, I am here to help something. Maybe I don't know what it is, but I'm here to do something. I'm here to help everybody, right? You get that feeling like I do. We took on that baggage from our mother. We took on that baggage from our grandmother. We took on that baggage from our fathers, of course, but as women in particular, this body right here, this energy field, was present in my grandmother. Let that blow your noodle for a hot second. Because it is known by mainstream science, by the way, that as your mother was forming in her mother's womb, she already had, by the time she was born, all of the eggs that she was going to possess. Which, guess what? Includes you and me. Okay? So we were actually technically present energetically, DNA-wise, in our grandmothers. Now roll that back into some ancestral baggage, will you? Think about it. Think about all the things that we're actually carrying around that isn't even ours. It's not even our moms. It's our moms, 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 moms. This can go back a long time, folks. So when we did this clearing, I released practically an entire person, a baby, 10 pounds, a big baby. Whew, God help us. God help those women that birth those 10-pound babies. Woo! That's what's happened here, is that all of this energetic baggage that we carry around in our energy field, this is a lovely representation, if we don't clear it, if we don't transmute it, if we hold on to it out of fear or protection or whatever, which is exactly what we do because we don't know what's happening when we're kids. If we're taking all of this on because we feel like we're here to be healers or we're here to do good work, that's what we're doing. We're inadvertently taking on the baggage of our parents, and our mothers in particular, because at that time, that is the only way that we understand the connection between spirit and physical, understands how to try and relieve them of their pain. Let that one wash over you for a hot second. When we are infants and children, we are taking their junk because we are trying to relieve them of their pain. Right? So we're all doing this, and we all do it to varying and a sundry of degrees, okay? Some people can just burn it off like that, and some people, because of the beliefs that we hold, the culture that we were raised in, whatever, we hold on to that stuff, and we hold on to it for dear frickin' life, like with white knuckles, because we feel like that's the only way we have to help other people, is to take their shit and put it onto ourselves so that they're not suffering with it. That is the curse aspect of the empath, as I'll say, and I say curse super loosely, because once we realize what's going on, we can actually start to do this work like I did in this session with my colleague, and start to relieve some of that. So the process of which is going to be something that I'm going to be sharing with you all in the group, again, as a mini mastermind, as a freebie, as a session, as a doable. So if you're watching this on the business page, please hop on over and click that join now button and get yourself in the group, because that is where all the super fun stuff is actually happening. So that is what has happened. I energetically let go of 10 pounds worth of spiritual, energetic, emotional baggage by doing maternal ancestral clearing work. And again, this is going to trigger some of you, some of the keyboard warriors out there, as sometimes that they're called, that they're critics and they're cynics and they don't believe, and that's okay. It really is, because if that's you, that's okay, because my message may not be for you. My message may be for someone else who now all of a sudden has had a huge light bulb go off on top of their head, and they go, oh my God, this entire time I've been holding on to what? That's what it's all about, okay? So if you don't believe it, that's okay. I still love you. I'm still here for everybody. That's why I'm on the internet. But that is what has happened. That is quite honestly the only thing that is different from what I was doing before, is that energetic clearing from the maternal line in particular. Because, as you know, a lot of us ladies, we're super empathic. We are, traditionally, women have been known to be more open to the spiritual side of the realms than men, just because we are naturally more in touch with our emotions, which is a language of the divine. The divine does not communicate in logic. And if any of you have actually been doing any of your shadow work, which is what this also would be called, this ancestral clearing, among many other things, you'll find that to be true. That the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, does not speak in logic. It speaks in signs. It speaks in symbols. It speaks in emotions and feelings. But it doesn't speak in logic. So if you've been trying to logic yourself into a spiritual awakening, it's not going to happen, my friends. What is going to happen, though, is you're going to keep pulling and pulling and pulling until something breaks. Physically, mentally, emotionally. Like me. That's what happened to me about 7 years ago, is that I shut myself down, thinking that that's, what I needed to do to survive in the environment that I was in, only to realize that I was actually pounding on more and more and more and more and more baggage because I wasn't releasing it. So if it's staying in our energy field, if we are taking on all of this energy, and we're taking on all of this energy from over here and up here and over here, from all of the people that we interact with, good or bad, and we let that stay in our energy field by not clearing it, by not resolving it, by not transmuting it, whatever word you would like to use, it actually coalesces into something physical. That is how it works. It starts out here, and it works its way in, and it works its way in, and it works its way in. It gains density, energetic vibrational density and weight, the longer it stays in our field. So some of this stuff that I'm clearing is quite honestly stuff from when I was 5 years old. I am going back and doing things that are touching on places that I almost don't even consciously remember, because it was that early on. And also clearing stuff from the line that my mom doesn't even remember. She doesn't even remember talking to me like that, or doing this, or saying that, or whatever, So when you're doing this work, you're going to notice some effects. And one of the effects of doing your shadow work, of doing your energetic clearing, of working the ancestral lines and clearing them, is you're going to be releasing so much spiritual, emotional, mental baggage out of your energy field, and literally out of your energy field. Because of course it starts from within. So it's in here, and it shoots its way out. So as this stuff is floating around in here, the more you hold on to it, the more you reinforce it, the more that you gather more energy that's like it. It coalesces and coalesces and coalesces and coalesces until it creates physical symptoms. That's what dis-ease is. I mean, we talk about that a lot in the group. So that is what has happened. How did I lose 10 pounds in a month without exercising like crazy and without going on some nutty butter juicing diet? I cleared. I did energy clearing. I did ancestral clearing. And I didn't know at the time that's what would happen. I was just helping a sister friend out, saying, hey, yeah, I'll volunteer to help you figure out a new thing for, the new offer that you're going to give to your students. Sure, I'll help you out. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. By actually letting that shit go. That is what has happened. And I encourage you to try it out. I encourage you, if you're watching this on the business page tonight, if you're watching this in the group, stay tuned. But if you're watching this on the business page, hop on over to our group page. Come join us in there, because we're about to do some really wild stuff. I'm about to open up all kinds of amazing things, because I'm realizing more and more and more that, you may be familiar with the idea of energy clearing, but people don't know how to do it. And there are a multitude of ways as to how to do it. So a lot of times we get really confused and, really overwhelmed and, so on and so forth about where do I start? Which one do I do? Which one's going to work for me? And that's where I found myself too. For a very long time. And I would say it just so happens, because there is no just so happens. When I helped my friend out, she took us through this session that she's going to be offering to her students. And now, because of the effects it's had on me, I'm going to be offering to you all too, is to release that maternal ancestral baggage. And here's another added bonus. Here is another amazing, insane bonus. Especially for those of you out there who are mothers already. Think about this. Think about how your child, particularly if she's a daughter, but if it's a son too, I mean, that your child or children were already in your ovaries to a degree, DNA-wise. The soul wasn't there, but DNA-wise, because all of these things are coming together. The DNA with the soul makes, okay? They were already present when you were in your mother's womb. How much junk are you carrying around? How much junk of other people, stuff, your parents, your husband, or your wife, or your brothers and sisters, or whatever, how much of their junk are you carrying around? And how much of your junk are your kids carrying around? Yeah, think about that one for a minute. It's not cute. I am blessed to only have fur babies right now in my life, and I've done that on purpose. But I wanted to make myself as clear as possible before I start bringing in my next generation. For this exact reason I'm going to share with you now. When we do ancestral clearing, when we work with our ancestors, when we invite them into our space, which I don't know if you can see, but I'm kind of surrounded right now. Thank you all for being here. When we bring them in and we start to do clearing from ourselves, working with them, of course in the astral, with our mothers, with our grandmothers, with as far back as we can possibly conceive, we are not only releasing emotional, spiritual baggage from ourselves, we are releasing the hurt and the trauma and the baggage from them. So we are releasing things that they had passed down to keep us safe, because, they may have gone through an insane Great Depression. So they passed on that depression energy, because that's what was safe. You have to save. You have to hold on to everything. If it's always going to run out, you're never going to have enough. Sound familiar? That is an energy signature that has been passed down through the line from the person that initially experienced it. How many wars have our ancestors been through? How many famines and disease and all kinds of insane shit have our ancestors been through that energetically, unknowingly, they passed down to us as a way to protect the future generations from this happening to them, or them being so affected by that happening to them? Does that depression mentality, for instance, as the example, does that actually serve us now? I would argue no, that doesn't serve us now. We don't live in that kind of energy anymore. We don't have to. But if we hold on to it, we're going to live there, and we're going to be stuck there in that energy, and we're going to pass that on to our children. And guess what? They're going to pass it on to their children and their children and their children, and everyone is going to feel depressed and stuck and not in their co-creative power. They're not going to be able to embrace their inner abilities as an actual spiritual being. Their sovereignty, their inner personal sovereignty, their ability to choose, their ability to co-create, their ability to manifest. All of this stuff is being cut off by shit we're carrying around that was passed on to us from people from the past. So when we clear it within ourselves, we are clearing it from that whole line. which is super awesome. The other aspect of it, that getting back around to those of you who are mothers, anytime we clear anything within ourselves, our kids won't have to deal with it either. Think about all of the baggage that you're carrying around right now. All of the emotional hurt, the trauma, the wounding, anything and everything that has ever made you feel small and insignificant and worthless and useless and unintelligent or unbeautiful or whatever. All of that is programming. All of that is an energetic signature that has been passed on to you, that you bought from somebody else, that was sold to you, that was given to you, that was bequeathed to you, that was, it was passed down in the will, so to speak. How much of that is passed on to your kids already? How much of it do you see in your own kids already? And for those of you who haven't had kids yet, this is a fantastic opportunity for you to be able to clear your shit so you do not have to pass it on to them. For those of you who have kids, this is a fantastic opportunity because guess what? If you clear it within you, you are clearing it from both directions of the line. You are clearing it from the entire timeline of your family's soul line. Clearing it from everybody who has come before you and anyone who will come after you. And that is an immense gift. So not only can you release the physical baggage from your body, but you can release the baggage from your future children or your current children. You can release the baggage from your great-great-great-great-grandmother that you've been carrying around. And you know what? That actually allows her to, that and her soul's energy to be more free, to take on new challenges, to move on. A lot of times why we still have ghosts and stuff is because they haven't moved on, because there's an energy signature keeping them here that they feel like they need to protect or that they need to share on or they need to So, message. So, work on this work. That is how I did it. And if you don't believe me, that's okay. I encourage you to try it out. And if you don't know how to do energy clearing, again, that's going to be something that I am bringing to the group so that we all can share in this absolutely fantastic time. We are in a time where it is now. The time is now. If we're going to be doing this stuff, there has been no better time in the recorded history of our current epoch to be doing this work. The time is now. So if you're interested, if you're ready, hop on over to the group. If you are ready to actually get some serious action done, get some serious results, and work one-on-one with me to clear a bunch of this stuff, I'm ready to work with you. And you can hop on over to www.redesignyourlifeforever, all one word, .com, and hop on over to that contacts page where I have an absolutely wonderful new widget that my beautiful, beautiful web mistress, virtual assistant Jasmine, has set up for me so that you all can see what times are available for a breakthrough clarity session so that we can figure out what's actually going on for you, what we need to work on clearing, and start breaking some of that stuff up so that you can take the power back into your own hands and start embracing your personal sovereignty, your ability to manifest and attract and create whatever you'd like to see in your own life. Because I'm telling you that is absolutely 1,000 bajillion% possible. And if you don't believe me, try it for yourself. All right, my darlings, I have gone on long enough, and you know me, I can go on forever. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for joining me here on Wisdom Wednesdays, for launching this in the business page, and thank you for sitting tight with me and being patient as my lovely cat, who is now settled down over here in front of me, had a little too much fun with my tapestry. I guess he really likes it too. If you have any questions or comments, you can always throw them down here in the comments below, or you can message me directly. All right, my lovelies, thank you for watching, and join me next week. I want to briefly mention, really quick, join me next week when I am going to test out a watch party where I want to share with you a chapter out of Deepak's book. It is no coincidence that I went through this release of physical weight and then go on to rent this from the library, did not touch it for practically an entire month, and then as soon as I realized what has been going on, was totally inspired to pick this actually up and continue to read it. And I really want to share with you this chapter called The Sculpture or the River, which is essentially an exploration as to, as a human body, with our DNA, our neurons, our everything, our cells, is it a solid physical, structure like a sculpture that is unchangeable and unmutable? Or is it actually more or less like a river, something that we can actually affect and have positive changes on? So join me next week where I'm going to be doing a fun watch party where I want to share a chapter of Deepak's book with you all. All right, my lovelies, this is going to be it for me for tonight. Thank you all for joining. I will see you all next week. If you have any questions or comments or you want to get more info, always message me or book your session at redesignyourlifeforever.com. Thank you all, my darlings. I will see you all soon. Mwah! Love you.